Okay, so now we're going to sew our side seams and our shoulder seams, and you can see that I've laid the front pieces with the interfacing facing up because this is the wrong side of the fabric. I've laid the fronts on top of the back panels. We're going to sew up the side seams. We're going to sew the shoulder seams. We'll flip that back and start on the other side. We're going to sew the shoulder seam here on this side and then the side seam here. When you start sewing, always start at the beginning and then make sure that you've got your seams matched at the other end and work towards that end. So we're going to back tack. This is a 1 centimeter seam allowance. So back tack at the end and work towards the underarm seam. It's our side seam. So now we have to do our shoulder seam, and remember when you're doing shoulder seam, this edge will meet up, so it will actually be flush. The inside, the neck edge of the shoulder will actually cross over, so it's the point where the two edges meet is on the stitch line. So don't match it up at the raw edges because you'll get a step. And remember, you only have 6mm seam allowance around the neck as well. So make sure that it's matched up at the 1 centimeter point and work towards that. So match up our ends, 1 centimeter seam allowance. Match up your neckline on the 1 centimeter stitch line. Now you will have, see there's that slight bit of excess there. It's because the shoulder seams are slightly on the bias, but make sure they match at the front, at the armhole and at the neckline. So now flipping the facing bits out of the way. And when we start here, we'll start again at the 1 centimeter intersection on the neckline. We can get started and then match up the shoulder here. If you want to put pins in, make sure that you put pins going this way so that if you happen to sew over the pins, there's less chance that the pin will actually break. So don't put the pins going this way. And really, you know, people use the pins as a guide, but you should really be using, you know, the foot as the guide to mark the width of the seam allowance. Second shoulder seam, and then down our side seam on this side. I'm matching up the end, and I'm working towards the end. Okay, and we have our shoulder and our side seams sewn. Now we're going to overlock.